Pivot for a moment and talk about something called institutional betrayal. It's when an institution, say your workplace for instance, lets you down or hurts you because of their own systemic failures. Former Portland Thorns player Sinead Farley says that she learned the term because of what happened to her while she was playing for former coach Paul Riley. This all stems from a huge investigative piece in The Athletic, which we think is worth your time. It details years of abuse that players say Coach Riley inflicted on them, both when he was a coach for the Thorns and for several years beforehand. Paul Riley coached the Thorns from 2013 until he was fired in 2015. Several players, including Farley, say Riley abused his power during that time. Farley says that the Coach Riley, coerced her and another teammate into having sex with him, and that he forced her and a teammate, Mana Shim, to kiss each other. They both say that he made disparaging comments about their weight or their sexual orientation, that he sent pictures of himself in his underwear to them, that he got players drunk and invited them alone to his hotel rooms. The players say they felt like they had no choice but to put up with this behavior, that Riley was their boss and he had the power to make or break their careers. In the article, one former Thorns player is quoted saying, quote, "It's almost like an abusive relationship. Even when it's not crossing the line of sexual because he gives and takes, the girls just want to please their coaches. They want to do the right thing. Paul said he'll invest in you, and then he takes it away." The players say even when they tried to report the things that Riley was doing, the National Women's Soccer League didn't provide them with a lot of options. They say at the time there was nothing in the players' handbook about protections for players, and there was no way to anonymously report any wrongdoing. Finally, the NWSL investigated, and they said that Riley didn't do anything illegal, but they did let him go from the team anyway for, quote, violating policies. But they didn't say which policies he had violated. They kept all of the details of that investigation private, and before long, Riley was hired somewhere else, by the New York Flash and then by the North Carolina Courage. Paul Riley has denied all of these claims against him, but he was fired from the North Carolina Courage last week and lost his coaching license. The head of the National Women's Soccer League, Lisa Baird, is also fired over this. Soccer games were canceled last week and a rally was held here in Portland to support the players. We talked to the chair of the Rose City Riveters about all of it.
We really want to make sure that the players are being centered right now. They need the support. What they're going through is extremely difficult. They're fighting with their bosses and people who have an extraordinary amount of power over them. And we want to make sure that the players feel that they have our support. Number one. Number two, we want to make sure that the administration, leadership of the club knows that we're paying attention. This isn't something that we're going to let up on, and we're going to be looking to hold them accountable for whatever it is the players are asking for and changes within their own organization.
The owner of the Thorns, Merrit Paulson, published an open letter today apologizing for not making the details of the investigation public. He apologized specifically to the players who were involved. He says they're working on changes to allow players to report things anonymously and to renew their commitment to the league's anti-harassment policy. Now, it's important to note that this is not an isolated incident within the NWSL. Players across the league say that they've been dealing with substandard pay, bad facilities, racist and sexist comments from their coaches, along with verbal and emotional abuse. Coaches and managers from other teams have lost their jobs in the last few months after allegations of wrongdoing. In March, 240 players signed a letter to the NWSL commissioner asking them to ensure safe and inclusive workplaces. The director of the Players Association says that this is, quote, the beginning of a reckoning.